Set down whatever is in your hand right now. Your mind is racing and your breathing is shallow. God says, stop this right now. I am warning you, because what you are doing is dangerous. If you leave this message before I finish, you will walk into tomorrow completely blind. You will keep losing your focus and your peace without ever knowing why. I know exactly how tired you are, my weary one. I was with you yesterday when you picked up your phone. I watched you write a message asking for help. You typed out every word of your pain, and then I watched you delete it all and send "I am fine" instead. You did that because you believe no one can carry your burden. You believe you must hold it alone. I am telling you what is moving toward you. I am telling you tonight because there is no time left to soften it. Stay with me. Before this hour is over, you will understand exactly what is cutting your mind in half. You will feel the heavy weight drop off your shoulders right where you sit, and you will learn how to reconnect your sharp focus before this day ends. You are not here by accident. I guided you to this exact place at this exact second. You need to make a choice right now. Do not wait for later. Type 777 to put down the weight. Do it now so your hands have done something while your heart is listening. Your obedience opens the door. Let me give you something you can use tonight. Notice what your hand does when you walk into an empty house. It reaches for a sound immediately. You turn on the television before your coat is even off. You play a song before the lights are fully on. Your hand moves to the screen the second the room goes quiet, and you have never once asked yourself why the silence had to be covered so quickly. Here is the truth. A full schedule is not always the sign of a full life. Sometimes it is a thick wall. You built it carefully so that you never have to sit in a room with a question you are not ready to hear. The constant noise is not entertainment, it is shelter. You are using the noise to hide from the quiet, and a soul can live behind that wall for years without knowing it is there. So tonight I ask something very small of you. Before you reach for the sound, stand completely still. Count to 10. That is all I am asking. Give me 10 seconds of an uncovered room. Whatever rises in those 10 seconds is the exact thing I have been trying to say to you. Do not run from it. Face it, and let my voice finally reach you. You see, my child, you have been fighting a war you did not understand. You wake up exhausted even after a full night of sleep. You stand at the kitchen counter and forget why you walked in there. You read the same page 3 times and nothing stays in your mind. The mental fog is thick and it refuses to lift. You sit at your desk and stare at the screen while the minutes simply vanish. You open your mouth to speak and the word you need is suddenly gone. It is trapped somewhere just out of reach. You laugh it off in front of others. You pretend you are just a little distracted today, but inside, a cold fear is growing. You are terrified that the sharp mind you used to have is slipping away forever. I watched you carry this secret fear for months. You hide it from your family because they rely on you for everything. If you crumble, the whole house crumbles. That is the burden of the cycle breaker. You are the one holding the history and the future of your bloodline together. And you are trying to do it with a mind that is constantly under attack by an invisible enemy. The noise never stops. You have told yourself this is just getting older. You look in the mirror and call yourself lazy. You use harsh words on yourself that you would never say to a friend. Stop doing that. You are not losing your mind. You are not becoming weak. I formed your brain perfectly. The fog you feel is a direct symptom of a mind that has been brutally divided by the noise of this world. You have tried to push through the heavy fog with sheer willpower. You drank more coffee and made more lists. You forced yourself to focus harder. But effort cannot fix a severed connection. Pushing a broken machine harder only breaks it faster. The exhaustion you feel is real. It is heavy and it is valid. You have carried it quietly for so long that you think it is your personality. It is not. It is an invasion. I know what rose in you when I began to speak. You are listening to my voice right now, but your tired mind is already arguing. You are thinking you have heard all of this before. You have knelt in the dark and cried before. You made a promise to change, and you kept it for 11 long days. And then you broke it on the 12th day. You feel trapped in a heavy cycle. You are telling me the truth. I will not argue with your own painful history. You lived every single hour of that exhaustion, and I was right there for every hour of it with you. But I want you to hear the clear difference today. What you tried in the past was simply behavior. You reached for the branch. You woke up earlier and you prayed longer. You forced your tired brain to read more pages. You built the discipline and you carried it until your human strength finally gave out. And human strength always gives out eventually. That is exactly what strength is for. It was never meant to hold a thing this heavy for this long. I am not asking you to reach for the branch again. I am speaking of the deep root beneath it. I am talking about something you came to believe so many years ago. You no longer experience it as a belief at all. You experience it as the rigid reality of the world. You did not fail, my child. You worked faithfully for years on the completely wrong layer. There is a huge difference between a person who will not run and a person who has been running with a sharp stone in their shoe. Sit down with me a while. Let me show you the stone that cuts you. You clean the house the most when your anxiety is the highest. I saw you do it just this past week. You scrubbed the counter until your hands physically hurt. You folded clothes that did not even need folding. You were not really cleaning the kitchen. You were desperately trying to clean your mind. But the fog did not lift. The heavy cloud stayed right behind your tired eyes. You sat down on the clean floor and you felt completely empty inside. You asked me why I let you feel this broken. I did not break you. I did not send this confusion to test your faith. You call it mental decline and terrible exhaustion. You think your best days are simply behind you. But I call it a separated mind. It is a separation caused by the relentless noise of the world. The enemy does not want you whole. A mind reconnected does not stay afraid. A whole mind does not stay small or trapped in old patterns. So the noise of this world was allowed to pull apart what I built to work as one. The noise comes through the glowing screens. It comes through the endless demands of people who take without giving. It comes through the panicking voices on the daily news. The world trained your brain to jump from one emergency to the next. Your focus was shattered into 1,000 tiny pieces, and you wonder why you cannot remember a simple name. You wonder why your prayers feel like they hit a brass ceiling and fall back down. Your brain is not dying. It is actively defending itself. It shut down the deep connection to survive the shallow chaos. This is why you feel so lost in your own body. You are operating on a fraction of the power I originally placed inside you. You have lived with this division for so long. You have accepted it as your permanent reality. But I do not accept it. I did not design your left hand to fight your right hand. I did not design your logic to crush your deep peace. I am going to give this condition a name. I name it so you can finally stop blaming yourself for it. I call it the divided mind. The divided mind is a quiet thief. It steals your physical presence while leaving your body in the room. It makes you nod at your family while your spirit is 1,000 miles away. But a named thief loses its hidden power. Now that you see the stone in your shoe, we can finally pull it out. The full reconnection is entirely possible. The bridge between the two halves of your mind is not burned. I have kept the original blueprint safe. The noise of the world is incredibly loud. It is loud enough to sound exactly like my absolute absence, but it has never once been my absence. I was standing in the noise with you. I was waiting for you to stop fighting yourself. You are not meant to live in this thick fog forever. The clarity you remember from your youth is not gone. It is just buried under the static. You must stop calling yourself lazy. You are a cycle breaker. Now I will show you the exact mechanism of your liberation. Listen closely to the next step. Let me describe a morning you have lived so many times you stopped counting. You slept the whole night through, but you still rose with your jaw already tight. You stood at the kitchen counter with your hand around a glass of water, and you could not remember why you walked into the room. You just stood there, looking blankly at the glass. You felt a wave of quiet panic wash over you. Later in the day, you sat down to read a simple page. You read the exact same paragraph 3 times in a row. And when you reached the bottom of the page, nothing had stayed in your mind because the words simply slipped through your fingers like dry sand. You closed your eyes in deep frustration. You have explained this to yourself so patiently. You have told yourself that you are just getting older, and you have said that your memory is failing because of your age. You have called yourself lazy. You have believed that you are simply not as smart as you used to be. My child, that is a heavy lie, and you have carried it for far too long. I want that lie out of your mouth today. You are not losing your intelligence. You are not aging faster than you should. Your brain is not dying. I formed your mind to be perfectly sharp and whole, and what I formed does not simply break down without a clear reason. The fog you feel is not a natural decay. It is a brutal separation. Here is the mechanism no one has explained to you. I built you with two beautiful halves of the mind. They were meant to work as one single unit. One half handles your deep sensing and your wonder, while the other half manages your logic and your sharp reasoning. Together they create a brilliant and peaceful focus. But the world you live in is violently loud. The noise of this world pulled those two halves apart. It pulled them apart one stressful demand at a time. The glowing screens demanded your constant panic, while the endless notifications completely shattered your deep silence. Your reasoning mind was forced to work overtime just to survive the chaos, and your sensing mind was shut down to protect your heart. I call this the divided mind. It is a state of severe disconnection. Your brain is desperately trying to process 1,000 false emergencies, so it isolates the two hemispheres to keep you from completely collapsing. It is not a failure of your character. It is an emergency defense system, and your defense system has been running for years without a break. Now look back with me at the last 5 years of your life. Look at them gently. Those years you have called your failing years were not failing at all. You were not slipping behind. You were hauling a massive load with a severed connection, and you were trying to drive a powerful engine on exactly half of its intended capacity. That takes incredible strength. You did not lose your brilliant mind, my child. You lost the quiet environment that allowed it to connect, and you lost the deep stillness that gives a memory its solid anchor. You did not lose your true self. You simply lost the bridge between your logic and your peace. I saw the bridge fall. I saw every tear. Not one was wasted. You are still here, and because you are still here, the broken bridge can be completely rebuilt. What the noise of the world separated, my quiet power can easily rejoin, and you do not have to live the rest of your life in this confusing fog. The damage is not permanent. It is only a temporary pause in your clarity. So today I ask you to take your power back. I am not asking for a massive leap. I am asking for a shift in how you see yourself. Stop attacking your own mind. Stop calling yourself broken. The next time you forget why you walked into a room, do not sigh in defeat and do not insult yourself. Just pause and breathe. Recognize the separation in that exact moment. Say to yourself out loud that your mind is just divided, and tell the noise that it has no permanent authority over your daily focus. You have been fighting the wrong enemy for years. Let the healing begin with this one simple truth. You are completely whole by my original design. The noise only hid your sharpness. It did not destroy it. I am holding the missing pieces for you, and the path to reconnect your two halves is standing right in front of you. I hear the quiet objection you would never say aloud. You are thinking this message is meant for someone better. You believe it belongs to someone whose hands are much cleaner than yours. I see exactly what you carry inside you today, and while you hide your perceived flaws from the world, I know the deeply painful parts that you have completely forgotten about. You truly think you are disqualified from true healing. I am not offended by your heavy doubt. The people who arrive completely certain of their own worth bring me absolutely nothing I can use for this work. You brought me your raw and painful truth. That pure honesty is the exact door I need. Sometimes you take the much longer way back home. You are intentionally extending the only part of the day that truly belongs to you. You do this because you are constantly returning to a familiar situation that drains you. You have arrived at this exact place more than once. The person has a completely different name this time. The city is new, and the beginning felt wonderful and safe. That is the specific part that confuses you the most, because right after the safe beginning, you slowly recognize the very old and painful weather approaching. You felt the same heavy silence at the dinner table. You started managing your own sentences before you even said them out loud. You stood in a house where you must carefully read a face at the door. You have to know exactly what kind of unpredictable evening it is going to be before you even take off your heavy winter coat. You looked up and asked why this painful pattern keeps finding you. You decided you are simply a poor judge of people. You decided there must be a visible mark on you. You think only the wrong ones can read your mark. Beloved, none of that is actually the real truth, and I will not let that heavy lie stand in your mind for another single day. You are not a poor judge of character. You judge incredibly well in every other room of your beautiful life. Here is what is truly at work inside your mind. A deep wound that was never healed does not just sit still. It actively goes looking for a room where the story can finally end differently. So it walks you toward whatever feels deeply familiar to your tired heart. It does not choose the familiar path because the familiar path is actually good for you, but because familiar is exactly where the wound learned to survive. This false recognition always feels like a sudden relief. That sudden flood in your chest when you met them was not certainty. That was your unhealed history recognizing its own handwriting. I am going to name this so you can catch it in the act. I call this mechanism the familiar door, and it stands wide open in every single season of your life, looking exactly like the safe way back home. But false recognition is not the same as true safety. So look again at the past choices you have been so ashamed of. You were never being foolish or intentionally weak. You were desperately trying to bravely finish something important. Every one of those familiar doors you walked through was a desperate attempt to repair a terrible ending that broke your heart many years ago. You hoped that this time the cold person would finally turn warm. You truly hoped you would be enough to change it. That is not a shameful weakness at all, my child. That is a loyal heart still trying to save a child nobody ever came for. I saw exactly what you were reaching for in those rooms. It was never really that specific person you wanted. It was always the safe and loving ending you never got to experience when you were small and incredibly vulnerable. You were not failing to be smart or capable. You were just trying to heal a very old hurt with the only tools you had. That was not a failure of your character. So carry one single question to the next doorway. When your chest floods and tells you this is the one, you must stop immediately. Ask yourself if this is a false recognition based on trauma, or if this is the actual rightness that comes from my deep peace. They do not feel the same when you actually slow down enough to tell them apart, because false recognition is built on panic while true rightness is built on solid ground. Recognition arrives incredibly fast, and it is extremely loud. It always feels like a sudden rush of intense relief. Rightness arrives quietly and gives you safe room to breathe. You do not have to decide anything major today. You only have to learn the difference between those two feelings. Learn that vital difference, and the old door completely loses its terrible power over you, because you will finally understand that a familiar pain is never going to become a safe home. The noisy trauma of your past will not dictate your bright future anymore. You may finally set that heavy emotional baggage down on the floor right now. I am standing right here to help you walk past it forever. You do not have to walk through that painful door ever again. Remember the divided mind I just named for you. You have seen what has been carrying you down. Now, let me show you a morning where you are not fighting it. Come with me to a morning 6 months from now, because I want you to see exactly what your life looks like when the noise is gone. It is an ordinary weekday, and the bright sky is doing nothing remarkable. You wake up before your loud alarm rings. Your feet find the hard floor without a single argument. You walk to the quiet kitchen and stand at the large window while the rest of the house is still completely asleep. The coffee cup is warm against your palm, and you do not brace yourself for the coming day. The heavy fog behind your eyes is completely gone. You do not run through your endless list before the day has even started. The phone lies face down on the wooden counter. You do not feel it pulling at your attention from across the room, and the deep silence does not frighten you at all. Everything around you is as sharp as a mirror. That peaceful woman is not a distant dream. That steady man already exists. This future version is not being assembled somewhere far away, out of parts you do not have yet. They are standing on the exact other side of the loud noise. The distance between you and that clear morning is not time. It is pure permission. Permission is something you say out loud in a quiet room. Say it tonight, and the morning starts walking toward you. You have lived through so much loud chaos. Which version of you is going to step into tomorrow? Is it the one who shrinks back, or is it the one who stands tall and reclaims the peace that was stolen? The choice is entirely yours. Type "I am not" what happened in the comments below. Do this if you are finally ready to leave the painful history behind. I read what my children write, and what pulled your tired mind apart can absolutely be rejoined. I have already placed the physical way into the hands of someone I led to find it. I will show you exactly what that is before this message ends. For now, I want you to hold this one vital question with me. What if the fog you carry was never about your age? And what if it was never about your lack of personal discipline? I built you with two halves of the mind, meant to work together. One half manages your deep sensing and your wonder. The other half manages your logic and your sharp reasoning. When those two halves of the mind are reconnected, the heavy fog instantly burns away. The sharp focus you had as a young child returns to you, and you stop losing your thoughts halfway through a simple sentence. Something inside you just shifted, and I felt it. A quiet voice whispered that this sounds lovely, but it is meant for somebody else. You think it belongs to somebody with more free room. You believe it is for somebody whose life is much further along than yours, because you have been disappointed too many times. You have heard that cynical voice so often. You have stopped hearing it as a voice at all. You just call it being realistic about your hard situation. My beloved child, that is not realism. It is the sound of a person who has been disappointed carefully enough times to build a small shelter. You built a dark shelter out of expecting very little, and then you mistook the shelter for wisdom. I am not going to argue with that defensive voice. I am simply going to keep speaking until it grows quiet on its own. You see, the noise of the world is incredibly loud. It is loud enough to sound exactly like my complete absence, but it has never once been my absence. I have watched this happen 10,000 times. I have seen it in 10,000 different houses. It is always the exact same sequence. First comes the deep wound, then comes the thick protective wall, and then comes the long quiet season, where the person mistakes the wall for their own personality. You are not your protective wall. You are the precious life hiding behind it. Everything I have told you up to this point is true. Now I am going to tell you the part that changes what it all means. You have spent the last half of this hour learning how the noise divided you. Let me now take that familiar answer back out of your hands. The obstacle was never standing between you and the open door. It was standing between you and something you were not ready to be handed. It has been doing that job faithfully since before you knew there was a door. This is where most people go quiet with relief and stop walking. Do not stop walking right now. The much larger thing is still standing directly in front of you. The tight knot is finally loose. Now I will show you what was tied up inside it all along. Breathe once. Prepare your heart, because the ground has been prepared and I am about to speak over it. The heavy waiting is over. The true revelation is here. Open your spirit to receive what I have held back for this exact moment. You have prayed to escape this endless cycle. You have asked me to lift the heavy fog from your mind, and you looked around and saw that absolutely nothing had changed. The exhaustion was still sitting right there on your chest. You felt completely ignored by the one you trusted. You wondered why I would leave you in such a dark place when you asked so faithfully for the light. You drew a very dark conclusion from my long silence. You concluded that I said no to your desperate plea. You thought I was simply not listening to you at all, and you believed your words just went up into an empty ceiling. Beloved, I want to answer that directly right now. I heard every single word you prayed in the dark. My silence was never my absence. Silence and refusal are not the same thing. The human heart cannot easily tell them apart. It fills the quiet with the absolute worst word it knows. But listen to what actually happens in a waiting season, because I am working behind the scenes. Between the asking and the arriving, there is a deep work being done. That deep work is on the vessel itself. It is not on the water you carry. A gift that comes before the hands are ready is not a mercy. It is a terrible loss with a beautiful wrapping. I love you far too much to hand you the answer in the exact shape you asked for it. I name this waiting season the unfinished yes. The answer you wanted was already on the way. I was simply cleaning the vessel first for you. Now look back over the years you have called abandoned. You were not being ignored in those painful years. You were being carefully formed by my own hands. Ask yourself honestly what you can carry now. You can carry heavy things today that would have completely crushed you before the waiting began. The waiting was never empty of my presence. You simply could not see me actively working. I was working on the one thing you never thought to look at. I was working on your beautiful mind. I was preparing your heart to hold the brilliant clarity that is coming. The years of waiting were actually years of building. I laid a solid foundation that the loud noise of the world can never tear down. You have been fighting a war inside your own chest, and you have served as the judge and the accused at the exact same time. I never called that harsh court into session. You have been demanding a guilty verdict that I already erased. You must put the gavel down. Your long and painful trial is over. You do not have to defend your quiet season anymore. Everything I have said until now is preparation. This truth is the actual thing itself. Lift your tired head to me now. What comes next is not just good information. It is a truly holy moment. I have been walking you toward one single truth this entire time, and we have arrived at it. Take one deep breath for me. Hear me say the thing I have always wanted to say. Every time you got up anyway, I saw it. Every time you spoke gently to someone who hurt you, I saw it. Every time you kept a promise in the dark, I saw it. You were never falling behind on your path. You were never the one who missed the call. The delay was simply pure preparation. I am officially ending the argument today. I am not softening it. I am ending it forever. You call it mental decline and severe exhaustion, my child, and you think your absolute best days are gone. I call it a separated mind caused by the noise of the world. And I am handing you the exact way to reconnect it today. You are not running late today. You are not less than the others. You are not the exception to my faithfulness. Please say it with me right now. Say it slowly enough that your spirit actually hears it. I am not running late. I am exactly where I need to be. You have spent years apologizing for the length of a season you did not design, but that long apology is completely finished now. I am the one finally finishing it. You are stepping into the clear light today. You do not have to live with a divided mind. The thick mental fog is going to lift. The sharp focus you thought you lost is coming back to you. I did not bring you this far to leave you standing alone. I am about to place the tool you need into your hands. Look up at me right now and receive. There is a room in you where the grief still lives. There is a room in you where the anger sits and waits patiently. Tonight, I am not asking you to open all of those heavy doors. I am only asking you to open your hands. The bridge inside your mind is being rebuilt. Receive the restoration I promised you. My child, what I have told you so far is true, but it is not the whole of it. There is a second half to this that I have been holding back until you were far enough in to carry it. You are far enough in now. Stay with me a little longer, and I will put the rest of it into your hands. Let me say it once without a single image, so that there is nothing left to interpret. Here is the plain truth. You have been carrying a responsibility that was never assigned to you. You have been trying to process 1,000 loud demands from a world that wants to consume your focus. Because the noise is so constant, your brain separated its sensing half from its reasoning half just to survive the heavy stress. That is all it has ever been, and here is what has to change. Not harder effort, not more harsh discipline. You do not need another long list of tasks to complete. The connection between the two sides of your mind must be physically restored. The deep separation must end. I am not saying this to everyone listening today. I am saying it to the one who hides in the bathroom just to get 5 minutes of silence. I am speaking to the one who takes the long way home because the driveway feels like a heavy burden. That is exactly who this is for. That is who I have been speaking to since the very first word of this message. You are not a broken machine. You are a divided mind, and the division can be fixed. You have carried it alone for years. You do not have to carry it alone tomorrow. Look up at me now. I am putting the answer in your hands. I did not only give you words in Scripture to restore your mind, I also gave wisdom to those who study the body I formed. A neurologist named Dr. Daniel Barone was led to something I placed in the brain long before he found it. He found a way to bring the two halves of your mind back into one. I allowed Dr. Roger Sperry to see this truth decades ago, and the world called it a Nobel Prize. I call it a piece of the truth I chose to release. Dr. Barone calls his method the genius switch. It is an 8-minute digital audio track. It uses neural sync technology to achieve whole brain activation. Now hear why I am placing this in front of you. There is a kind of person who does not need this at all. That person has never sat at the end of a long day and felt their own thoughts go soft. That person is not you. You are the cycle breaker. You are the one who holds the whole house together. You are trying to do it with a mind that stops giving you focus in the morning. You read a page 3 times and still walk away with absolutely nothing. So when I tell you that this clears your heavy brain fog, I am not reading a list. I am describing the exact place where your life has been leaking. This brings your sharp clarity back. Colleagues told Dr. Barone this was worth $500. A machine for your home costs $7,000. I did not lead him to price it at $500. I led him to release it at $49. And because you have stayed with me this far, I am making a way for you to receive it today for $39. It comes with 4 things I gathered for you: a guided visualization for your peace, a smart grocery guide, a classic book on good stewardship, and an infographic of 5 vital habits. You carry absolutely no risk in this. If it does not restore your mind, every cent returns to you. 100% money-back guarantee. The enemy delights in cheap imitations. If you search for this on video sites, you will find tracks wearing its name with none of what was built inside them. They are noise, dressed up for clicks. What I am leading you to is only found through the page his team keeps directly. Do not let a counterfeit stand in your way. Take this as a small step of obedience. The path to reconnection is waiting for you in the comments below. 8 minutes. Headphones. Eyes closed. That is all I am asking of you today. Go and find it now. Hear me before you move. There is a terrible cost to another year of the exact arrangement you have been living inside. It is not a cost anyone will invoice you for. It is paid quietly in the things you stop expecting. Every day your mind stays disconnected is a day the heavy fog remains. I am not telling you this to frighten you. I am standing between you and that outcome. I am warning you about a deeply familiar habit. You are so used to the heavy fog that you think clear skies are impossible. If you walk away now, you walk back into the noise. Stay here with me a little longer. If you leave now, you go with the same heavy fog you walked in with. You will spend the next 12 months asking me for clarity. The exact answer was sitting in front of you tonight, and you left it. On the day you need your sharp focus the most, you will reach for it. And you will find only the broken part you were willing to sit through. Do not let that happen. Every minute you have stayed here has been adding to what I am rebuilding inside your tired mind. None of this time is wasted. Your willingness to still be here is what is letting me reach deeper than I could before. Do not move away from me in the middle of this. My hand is still on your healing. Let me finish the deep work. Now come here and sit down. I want to say the rest of this to you very quietly. The loud commanding is completely finished. I raised my voice earlier because you had stopped listening to your own inner peace. You are listening now, so I can finally lower my voice. The teaching is over, my child. What is left is simply between the two of us. There is one thing I have not given you yet. I told you there was a final piece I was holding back until the very end. You will not receive it in the part of this that sounded like a loud ending. You receive it right now. The genius switch is not a trick, and it is not a worldly shortcut around my ultimate design. It is exactly 8 minutes that helps rejoin what I already built in you as one perfectly united mind. If you have ever wondered whether the brilliant mind you had as a young child is still in there, this is exactly how you come back to it. I have kept it completely safe for you. It was only sleeping beneath the endless noise. You came into this room carrying a mind brutally divided by the loud noise of the world. You are not walking out with it. Because you stopped defending the noise and stayed in the quiet, I am moving you out of the heavy fog. I am bringing you into the pure clarity of a completely restored vessel. You will stand sharp and whole. You will no longer lose your thoughts midway through a simple sentence. You will no longer apologize for a mental exhaustion you did not create. You will say the true thing first and let other people adjust to your new peace. And this massive shift will not stop with you alone. Your family will inherit the incredibly peaceful version of you. My weary one, you have fought silent battles no one else ever saw. You did it on a mind that was never given the chance to fully reconnect. I am not asking you to fight any harder tomorrow morning. I am reconnecting the very thing that fights for you. You may finally rest your heavy armor against the wall. The long war is over. There is nothing you have to carry out of this quiet room tonight. Not a heavy task, not a broken promise, not a stressful plan you will feel guilty about by the weekend. Only this simple truth remains. You were seen all the way down to your lowest point, on a night when you had almost stopped expecting to be seen at all. Let that be enough for tonight. It is certainly enough for me. Now go, not quickly. Do not rush out of here to prove anything to anyone who has been waiting for you to stumble. Walk out of here the way a person walks when their mind is finally their own again. I am with you in the quiet kitchen. I am with you always. I have said everything I came to say. What happens next is entirely yours to do. Right now, you are someone who just heard this message. In 30 seconds, you can be someone who confidently declared it. Put your hand on the words and make them yours in your own writing. I want you to claim this complete mental restoration publicly. Type "I receive my sharpness" back in the comments below. Do it, and let this place know you faithfully stayed to the very end. The door stands wide open for you. Walk through it and take your brilliant focus back. I read what my precious children write.